Hello everybody, welcome back to 10 Minute Reviews. Jason here. Sorry it's been a little while since I posted a video. I'll try and make this pretty quick. Thank you to all of our patrons, all of our supporters. Really appreciate it. Don't forget to check the links down below for links to today's book and anything else that we might find applicable. I need to have some traffic through that Amazon thing that you guys suggest in order for it to keep going. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and jump right into today's video. For today's video, I'm going to be talking about The Grand Game. I've talked about this series a few times by Tom Eliot, and you guys may notice a small change in venue. Oh, hush. Thor, relax. And you guys get to see Freya again. And Thor might make an appearance. Can't film in the library tonight. Thor, relax. Can't film in the library tonight or today, so I'm down here. All right, so The Grand Game. It is book 6, book 7. Sorry for the barking. He gets nuts. He's only 8 months old. Book 6, book 7, something along those lines. The Ancient Debts. And we are back with Michael. And you guys might remember this series. I've talked about it a few times. It's kind of a favorite of mine. I'd put it in my top 10 for lit RPG. Pretty interesting. Definitely wolf-themed, like Rise of the Winter Wolf. There's a lot of commonalities there. Semi-isekai. So Michael has managed to get out of this corrupted area that he was in, or this hidden area that he was in, that occupied the last couple of books. Made a few new allies, such as a particular lich that's actually good, which sort of breaks a few norms. Gain a little bit more information about how this grand game works. So this universe, this lit RPG universe, and these sectors and the dungeons, and how the history goes, especially with the powers, which are basically gods. If you can draw commonalities between this and say like Primal Hunter or some of the other lit RPGs, where there's actual tiers that you can go up, and each tier really outpowers the tier below and is pretty much godlike. And at a certain point, you basically get to low god, mid god, high god type of levels. Now in this case, these powers, you've got the new powers, and the new powers are the ones that are pretty much running the game. We've learned this through the first few books, but we have the old powers. These old powers are almost progenitor type powers or primal powers. The new powers are kind of like you would think of with your new, with our modern sort of mythology. You've got your god per se, trickster god, and you've got your death god and such like that. But they are players, and not NPCs, but players that manage to rise up in power to the point where they basically are a power unto their own. Whereas the ancient powers, those were more primal, more pure in a way. You'd have things like wolf and snake and lizard or crocodile or whatever it might be. They were more basic and more natural in a way. And that is what Michael has found himself connected to, because he's got these wolf sort of abilities, and he's started to make connections with wolves. Because of the wolf mark he had gained way before. And he's got a lot of marks that are hidden, some that are not hidden, but he's made these connections with the wolf power, and he's basically bringing it back. He is a power unto himself, or he's getting there. You can see how he could eventually be a power. And in fact, they've already started to work that way. He's got a lot of these hidden marks that kind of shield him from some of the other powers and other organizations and stuff like that, and also allow him, I won't say to freely move, but to move around within the various sectors now that he is once again out of this one area. But with some of his hidden marks and some of his hidden abilities, dealing with wolf and dealing with his status within wolf's, I guess you could say, organization almost, or clan, he unfortunately did end up gaining a mark that is visible, and it's basically a mark that introduces him as not a power. He's not a power yet. He's certainly no god level being, although he punches above his weight class most of the time, but as a potential power, somebody that is on the path to becoming a power. And the problem with that is, when you are just a typical mortal, a typical player, the powers cannot directly intervene with you. They can have their minions, their organizations, their plots affect you. Hi, Frey. See, Frey is back. And that's Thor, 8-month-old monster. So the powers themselves cannot actually interfere with you. He gets a little jealous. But when you've got this mark saying, hey, this guy could eventually be a power, he is on the path to becoming a power, and you don't just stumble onto this path. He had to make choices along his path line to put him in this direction of eventually having the potential to become a power. But as soon as he gets that mark, and that mark is visible, now he no longer enjoys the protection of the system. So now these powers, these gods, they don't necessarily need to work through their minions and through their plots to attack Michael. Now they can directly attack him if they so choose. And that makes a huge difference. Huge difference to what's going on here. Other than that, he is out trying to gather his allies, bring his allies back, and hopefully save some of his allies. He of course has this wolf clan that's hidden within this one dungeon, but he's trying to gather everybody together, including some people that are also connected with Wolf or have been connected in the past with Wolf. So he's trying to gather all of them back up together now that he is once again out of this thing. It's a fascinating read. I love the world building. I love the lit RPG aspect of it. They did a really good job. But the world building, it's so expansive, and it's not an expansive universe like some of the other ones where as you grow in power, you start expanding out. You start off in your little area, then you're kind of a regional power, then you're kind of a world power, and then eventually you start moving on. Now, in this particular case, the Grand Game, it's actually made up of these sectors that span who knows how far. Basically a universe or galaxy of sectors. And for the most part, you can move freely around them, so you don't know where you're going to be underpowered, overpowered. You don't know what you're going to run into. And then, of course, when you start adding into the dungeons. So you guys really should check it out. If you like lit RPG, if you like, say, Defiance of the Fall, Primal Hunter, Rise of the Winter Wolf, stuff like that, especially if you like Rise of the Winter Wolf, check out the Grand Game. Grand Game by Tom Eliot. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoy this series. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and we will catch you guys next time. Bye now.